right now we are in our house in Florida, and we are looking likely to be in the very middle of the new Hurricane Milton. I say very likely because in a way I do hope it diverts or misses us or passes quickly or whatever, but it's going straight through where we are staying and where we live, and it's obviously, if you've seen the photos and the satellites and all the stuff on the news and bits, it's not looking likely to be the calmest storm in the world, so it's a little bit scary for a lot of people. And you know, just going to the supermarkets, lots of places selling out of things. Not every place, but lots of places. I mean, our neighbours have put sandbags on their doors and any kind of like leaky points that water can get in. They've put wooden boards on their windows and their doors to stop any wind and flying debris. And obviously, whilst this is a huge worry for ourselves and lots and lots of other people near us, you know, you've got to remember that the Hurricane Helen effects are still very prominent and still being treated. And now having Hurricane Milton not long after, you know, it's gonna be big, I reckon, you know, and that's not a good thing. You know, with our preparations are underway, and obviously, like, you can probably tell by my accent, we're not American, so it's just as scary for us as it is for thousands and thousands of other people in Florida. And I mean, you could argue that because this isn't the first time we've been in a hurricane, that we've got experience and we've got knowledge, we're a bit safer in that regard. We're not, because it's so unpredictable, and you know, we're moving stuff, our furniture around. We're going to put a lot of our furniture, especially our pool furniture, into the garage area where we are now. We're going to move lots of bits around. The date today is Tuesday. I don't remember the exact day, but it's Tuesday, and it's meant to hit on Thursday. It chops and changes. They said this morning it was going to hit on Thursday morning around 2 or 3 a.m. Now they're saying it's going to be 8 a.m. So it's constantly changing, and it probably will change. You never know, they might say it's a week on Wednesday, do you know what I mean? It's constantly changing, but it's an unpredictable event, you know? It's not something that you can really look at and definitely say, this is gonna hit here, this is gonna do this. So, you know, it's not really one of those things. Now, we haven't panic bought anything, but we have obviously bought like food, because the news sites and the medical centres themselves have said that we're probably gonna be without power for possibly up to 5 days if it goes the way they're looking like it's going to go, which means obviously having food that's not refrigerated, because there'll be no power going to the refrigerators, no electricity, that sort of thing. So, you know, we've been rationing sort of food. We've bought lots of like little crisps and breakfast bars and stuff like that, and I'll insert a photo of our shopping trolley that we had when we went to Publix the other day, which is where we got all our food, just because it was nearby at the time. And you know, obviously, hopefully, I do hope this storm just diverts or doesn't do anything, but I think deep down we all know it's going to do something, and you know, it's just about dealing with it. And I know lots of people are that are in central Orlando on different like forums and bits asking if they should be evacuating and asking what they should be doing to not get hit by it or not get hit the worst by it. And you know, lots of people have their own opinions on it. You know, lots of people are saying don't go to hotel rooms if you've got a house, just because people that need a hotel room can then use a hotel room. Don't be selfish, which is fair enough. I agree with that. And I feel like it's one of those things where it either brings people together or it divides people, and most of the time it brings people together. I mean, you know, you look at the last hurricane and the work that's being done in lots of places in Florida to help the community, and lots of different sports teams are chipping in, donating money, and it's really good. So, you know, obviously you never really want that to be a thing that happens in the first place. You know, you don't want that hurricane to be there, but it is there, so not a lot you can do. Right, so as you can tell, new clothes. It's a new day. It is now Wednesday, so a lot has happened since. We've been doing more of our preparations in more depth, so we've moved all the furniture into here now that was outside in the pool area, which I'll show you in a moment. We've filled the bathtub up with water, which I'll insert a photo there so you can see it. That's just in case we run out of water and we can't flush toilets and bits. So very last minute kind of stuff, but it could happen and very well might happen. It's now set to, the storm is set to hit tonight at, mainly I think they said 1 AM, 1 to 2 AM, that's when it will hit us. And then it will carry on until about midday, and then the effects will sort of slow down around 3 PM for us. That's just what I've heard and what's been spoken on about where we are on the telly and everything. But it's all probably subject to change, as most things are. The news stations are going mental, as you can imagine. I've seen lots of really cool photos, I think NASA released a photo of it from space, from the Space Centre or whatever. It looks very menacing, to say the least. But also Sky News, for anyone that is British watching this, they are the most scaremongering people I've ever seen. The headlines that they are producing are absolutely insane. They produced one this morning that said if you haven't evacuated Florida, be prepared to buy your own coffin. They're basically saying if you haven't evacuated Florida, you're going to die, which is just like completely blown out of precaution. They're saying that everyone in Florida, if you're still in Florida, you're going to die. That's just not the case. That's not the case at all. Obviously, they've seen a headline from the American news that said if you're in Florida, some people will unfortunately die if they haven't evacuated the evacuation zones. And then Sky News in Britain have just blown it completely up, and it's the most stupid headlines I've ever seen in my life. So do not believe that every single person in Florida is going to die. This is currently what it looks like. Obviously, you've got the deck chairs and bits there. It wasn't a massive amount that we did have to bring in, but I tell you what, these chairs here, blooming lethal they are. Cut my leg on that, bringing it in here. I don't even know how I done it. I didn't realise until I came indoors and my leg was bleeding out. But there's still lots of room, as you can see, in the garage area, so that's good. But I tell you what, like I was saying yesterday in the clip that you probably saw a couple minutes ago, you know, about it either divides people or brings people together. Our neighbours have been so good to us, so good. They've been asking us if we need anything, if we need any advice or tips, if we've got enough water, is there anything they can go and get for us, if we need somewhere to stay that's more secure than here, we can go to their house. It has just been so lovely with our neighbours to see how they've treated us, and we obviously reciprocated that and asking them the same sort of questions. So it's been really nice so far with how our neighbours have been and how we've been with them. If I have to leave you with any message on this video, the message I will leave for you is, if you're not religious, if you are religious, it doesn't matter. Pray for Florida, pray for your loved ones, pray for anyone that you don't know and people you do know, because I tell you what, I think a lot of people are going to need it with this hurricane coming. So stay safe everyone, have a lovely day, and I'll see you on the other side.